welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a little bit different. This is going to be a collaboration video that was put together by an organization called Teachers Connect. I have been working with Teachers Connect since this past summer, and their main goal is to bring teachers together so that we have this great support system where we can give tips, advice, but also ask questions of each other that only teachers would be able to understand and only teachers would really be able to answer. So they reached out to me as well as some other teachers on social media, such as Kate the Sleepy Teacher, CJ from Real Rap with the Reynolds, Fernanda from That One Happy Classroom, and so many more, and asked us if we could answer some questions in which we share the different things that we do in our classrooms to make sure we are reaching every student. So they gave us, I believe, 5 or 6 questions that we're each going to answer. I will be sure to link everyone's video in the description box below, but I'm going to just give you my perspective on these questions, and I hope that you find my answers useful and or helpful. So I don't have them memorized, so I need to pick up my phone so I can look at the questions, and let's get started. So the first question is, what strategies do you use to reach and or motivate your students? What works best? I don't know if this is a strategy, but I think my overall teaching style is twofold. I'm gonna give you some tough love, meaning that I'm really gonna push you to just like your intellectual limits, your organizational limits, because I just really feel like if you set the bar high for kids, they will aspire to reach that, and they will feel good about themselves in the process. I always tell my kids that nothing feels better to me than working hard, setting a goal, and watching myself or recognizing that I've achieved that goal through hard work and effort. So that is really something that I try and instill in all my students so that they can value just hard work, perseverance, grit, that whole growth mindset thing. I'm all about that. The second thing that I try and do, I think, is more of a, I don't know if emotional is the right word, but I really do try and make sure my kids recognize that even though I'm the adult in the classroom and they're the child or the student, I really try and make sure they understand that I do have a certain level of respect for them and that they should expect that from me. So I try and make sure that they understand I see you as a person. I'm gonna talk to you in a respectful way. I'm gonna listen to you in a respectful way. I'm gonna give you my all because that is my responsibility to you, and I'm never going to treat you in a way that I think is going to make you feel less than respected in my classroom. I think those are my 2 main strategies when I'm teaching and when I'm conducting my classroom and when I'm dealing with my students, and I think those things have really gone a long way for me. So I would highly recommend trying those things out. The second question is, how do you reach and or motivate difficult students to reach or misbehaving students? Any examples? So this is kind of related to what I just said, and I really, truly, and firmly believe that the students that you have are misbehaving, that the students that you have that are misbehaving, or that the students that you have that may have a reputation, in their heart of hearts, they don't want to be doing that. They don't want to be misbehaving. They don't want to be known as the student that does X, Y, and Z. And I just try and remember that even though they may be the student that is known as doing X, Y, and Z, I'm going to come to school every day with a clean slate with them. I'm going to come to school, and no matter what may have occurred yesterday or even what may have occurred last year, I'm going to start a new day with you, and we're going to start all over. Also, with students that are misbehaving or struggling, I think it is very important to talk to them in a very calm manner, in a very respectful manner. If you're angry with them or disappointed with them or frustrated with them or whatever word you want to use, respect them enough to explain exactly what it is that has bothered you, frustrated you, and at the same time, give them the space to give you their perspective on whatever the situation is. Just because you're giving them your perspective does not mean that you are condoning what they've done, endorsing what they've done, or encouraging it. I just believe it means that you are showing them, I'm going to give you the time and space to speak your mind, and then the 2 of us are going to talk this out and come to some kind of mutual understanding of what should have happened versus what did happen. I've had some really challenging students in the past. I've had kids call me out of my name. I've had some emotionally disturbed kids, and the strategy of staying calm and not being reactionary and giving them the space to speak whatever their truth is in the moment that they made the decision that they made, and then responding to them in a calm manner and coming to some kind of mutual understanding, that has always served me well. It has helped with my relationship with that student, and honestly, it has helped with my overall sanity. If I'm just flying off the handle and yelling and screaming every time somebody does something wrong, I'm just creating more anxiety and stress just in my physical being, as well as the physical space that I have to teach in. So just, even when it's rough, even when you feel like you can't take anymore, just kind of go within yourself, take a deep breath, stay calm. Sometimes there are physical things that I have to do to calm myself. So sometimes I will literally like just put my hand on my nose, and that's just me calming myself down. Or I will even tell a student, I need to calm myself down first, and when I do, we will resume talking about what just happened. So stay calm, treat them with respect, and that should help a great deal. Question number 3, how important is it to know each student's backstory? If important, how do you get to know them? I think the more you can know about a student, the better. My graduate program required me to pick 7 students, I think it was, of course with parent permission, and we had to get to know those students in great detail. So I did home visits, I checked to see where they slept, what did they sleep on, what are they eating for dinner, where are they eating for dinner, do they have chores, what's going on with their parents. I had to interview them, I had to interview the parents to really just get the idea that yes, they're students, but these are full people that have things that are happening in their lives, in the classroom, as well as outside of the classroom. And some of those things that are happening outside of the classroom are directly affecting the things that you were seeing inside of the classroom. So it's extremely important. Now it's not really feasible for me to do home visits like that for a lot of different reasons. So one of the ways I try and get to know students is just, it could be something as simple as just when I'm walking in line, just talking to students in a more casual way, asking them about their weekend, asking them about something that they're wearing, asking them about their holidays, asking them about like something about their culture that I didn't know. I'm just talking to them like a person and just kind of getting to hear what interests them, what they enjoy doing over the weekend, and also letting them see me as a person. I think the more they see that I am a teacher, but I'm also, surprisingly enough, a human being, makes them more open to kind of let you see a part of them that maybe they would have kind of kept hidden because, you know, I'm a teacher and they're the student, and they don't necessarily know that we can still kind of get to know each other on a more personal level throughout the school year. So just making an effort to hear them, talk to them, speak to them, and it doesn't always have to be school related. Just trying to talk to them, joke around with them, crack a joke, do something silly. Those are the things that I've tried to do to kind of build a relationship with some of my students over the years. Question number 4. Can relationships with parents help or hurt? If so, how? Any examples? More often than not, having a good relationship with the parents, I think, is extremely helpful. I think when parents see that you are invested enough to get to know their child as people and also get to know them as parents and understand their circumstances and what their life is like, then I think they're more open to collaborating with you in different ways that can support their child. And it just makes working with them more pleasant. It's more pleasant to work with someone that you have a little bit more of a relationship with, as opposed to just, I'm the teacher, you're the parent. I'm the authority figure in this particular setting, and I'm just gonna be telling you what you should be doing and what you should not be doing. I think that is kind of intimidating to a lot of parents, but just talking on a more personal level really does provide more benefit than negatives. Every now and then you might have a parent that can't quite keep the boundaries straight and maybe misinterpret your attempts to get to know them as a person and build a little bit more of a stronger connection with them as them now having the ability to kind of dictate what you do in the classroom, or try and, you know, manipulate things so that their child gets some sort of favoritism. I've never really experienced that, but that's the only risk that you run if you try and go out of your way to get to know parents a little bit better. But I've never experienced that, but that is the only thing that I could think could be like the downside of it. Now, I will say, you do still want to set some boundaries. So I will try and get to know my parents as best as possible. Some are interested in knowing me as a person and some aren't. So I'm not going to force myself on people that are like, you know what, I just want you to be the teacher and that's it. But for those that are very open to getting to know me, there's only so much that I'm going to do while I'm teaching their child. So I'm not going to be going to dinner with them or going to breakfast. It's just more of a casual getting to know you type thing. And then if the next year comes and I no longer have their child in my class and we're still friends, then I might go out to dinner, grab a cup of coffee. It just depends on how that relationship plays itself out. But I definitely think it's a positive and not a negative. Question number 5, have you ever planned to see students outside of school activities? How did it go? Give examples. So yes, typically 9 times out of 10, any outside of school activity I've attended is something like a sports game. Last week I went to a former student's play. There are always things that are just supportive, shows of support that are not necessarily related to the school. I've gone to a couple of quinceañeras. I've been invited to those. And again, for me, that's just a form of support. And I've always had a pleasant experience. It's a little awkward because normally I don't really know anybody at the event except for the student, but they know all kinds of people. So I'm kind of like just there, not knowing who to talk to. But it's more important to me to show support, and I just kind of have to get over that feeling of awkwardness. And it means so much to the kids when you actually do that, that if a student asks me to come somewhere, I'm gonna do it. Whether they're my student this year or a former student. So last week, the student whose play I went to see is now in the 10th grade, and me and my friend taught her when she was in the 5th grade. Not too long ago, a student that's now in the 8th grade is homebound because she was injured from a soccer game. I went to her house with my friend to kind of cheer her up, gave her some gifts, and it's just a positive experience. It's probably my favorite thing about teaching. So I definitely recommend that you do that. But again, just, you know, maintain a certain level of boundaries. We're not, you know, you're not hanging out like they're your best friends. You're really just there to show them that you're supporting them in the classroom when you have them, and throughout life if they'd like you to continue to do that and be a part of some special experiences that they have. And I think that's it. That was actually the last question. So I really hope that with my responses, if you're listening to this, you found something that resonated with you, something that was helpful to you, something that reiterated a belief system that you have. And if you have any input, please make sure to leave a comment in the description box below. But more than anything, I want to say thank you to Teachers Connect for organizing this. I can't wait to watch the other teachers' responses to these same questions, and I hope that you do the same. But make sure you just remember that all of our students need us, whether they're those high achieving students or those students that are really struggling or those students in between. They really do need us to see them as people, and when we're willing to do that, nothing but good things can come from it. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Have a great day, whatever you're doing, and I will see you in the next video. Bye guys.